We are good to go.
All right.
Okay. Gregory Stone, MMA Crypt.com. You're watching the MMA Crypt quiz. Today's quiz will be scheduled for 3 rounds of action as Joseph Raybury Johnson takes on MMA veteran John Salter. Joseph has a current MMA Crypt quiz record of 1 win, 1 loss. Joseph is coming off a TKO loss to current champion Greg Marshall in his last bout. With that, welcome to the MMA Crypt quiz, Joseph.
Thank you.
So, Joseph, you're currently 1-1 on the quiz, so today is very important to get you in the positives, not the negatives on your record. So, all important you get the victory today. But your opponent is making his debut today as well, so one of you will be leaving with a minus record today. And your opponent, of course, is John Salter. John is a free-fight UFC veteran and current Bellator middleweight. With that, welcome to the show, John.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, John. Okay, what I want to do is I want to do a coin toss to decide who selects which category for round 1 and who decides who goes first in round 1. John, you are first in the alphabet over Joseph, so you get to decide heads or tails.
I'll go heads.
Heads it is. So you get to select these categories. You've got MMA News, Fighters Only Annual MMA Awards Part 1 and Part 2. So it's set those three there, John.
All right. I guess I'll start with MMA News.
Okay, question 1. This is worth 2 points. Which former UFC middleweight claimed he had recently been stabbed? This is a bit of a tough one here. I might have should have given this 3 points instead of 2, but we'll save you annoying.
Could you repeat it again?
Which former UFC middleweight recently said he had been stabbed? This is worth 2 points. But we're yet to decide who goes first here, John. So you did win the coin toss, so you get to decide who goes first in round 1. Would you like to answer first, or would you like Joseph to answer first?
I'll answer first, but I couldn't understand the last part of the question. Sorry, I don't know. Something wrong. Is which former UFC middleweight did what?
Claimed he had been stabbed.
Oh, claimed he had been stabbed.
Yes. I'll move my microphone a bit closer too.
Which former UFC middleweight claimed to have been stabbed?
Yeah.
I guess I'll say, Nate Corey. I have no idea.
Nate Corey.
So,
okay, Joseph. What's your answer?
I won't say the same one because I have no idea.
You gonna go with the same one, Nate Quarry?
Yeah.
I told you I should have put that as a 3-point question. It was indeed Jason Mayhem Miller.
Oh, Miller.
That only made it onto the undergrounds.
That.
It actually only made it onto the undergrounds. It was it didn't make it into the mainstream media for some strange reason. It was sort of flew under the radar. I only just picked it up myself. I didn't see nobody else on the Crypt or anywhere else talking about it. So, but I still would have thought that somebody would have said Mayhem just because he's pretty crazy and he's been out there in the news recently. Well, quite a lot recently. So, well, not to worry.
Yeah, I was trying to think of somebody crazy, but I couldn't think of anybody.
Well, not to worry. Neither opponent picked up a point there, so all's good. Okay, let's move on to question 2. This is worth 1 point. UFC strawweight Paige Van Zandt has just signed a separate Reebok deal. Obviously, you know that all the UFC fighters have got a Reebok deal now. She signed a separate one, along with the likes of Anthony Pettis, Johnny Hendricks, Ronda Rousey, etc. Upon hearing the news of this, former UFC strawweight, because she's a former champion now, Carla Esparza, she took to Twitter and said what? She was a little bit unhappy about it because she was obviously champion at the time and she wasn't happy about a newbie sort of getting a decent deal with Reebok. But I've got some possible answers for you guys. I want you to tell me what she said. So what did Carla Esparza say when she found out that Paige Van Zandt received a separate Reebok deal? Obviously she was unhappy, so she said one of these 3 things. Did she say she only got the deal because of her looks? Did she say that? Did she say I deserve a Reebok deal I'm the champion? Or did she say, I'm constantly being overlooked? So it's one of those three. John, you're obviously going first in round one.
I'm going to say that she said I'm constantly being overlooked.
Okay, Joseph, what's your answer?
That is the correct answer, so I'm going with that answer.
Joseph, well, it sounds like you both knew. Did you both know there, guys? For sure.
Yeah, I knew.
You know, John, was that a guess or did you actually know?
That was a guess.
That was a guess. You got the guess correct.
I follow her
Sounded
on
like
Twitter, so I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
she can't be moaning now. She can't be moaning now that she's lost the title. So,
In her first title defense.
John, were you being a fight yourself? What do you make of that? You know, do you think it should be more about being in the cage and what you do in the cage, or do you think it just comes down to personality sometimes, whether you click on with the fans? Oh, looks as well. Looks is the main one for the women. I suppose there's a lot of jealousy and envy with good-looking women, etc. The men not so. The men don't really get bothered about looks. They don't care if a guy's better looking than them. I suppose with the women it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I wish it was all about what happens in the cage, but I think it's a lot about who can get people fired up to watch a fight.
Okay, so the scores after question 2 is 1-1. So all to play for you guys in the next 3 questions. Let's see if we can separate you in question 3. This is worth 2 points, by the way, guys. Okay, question 3. Brandon Thatch recently took on former UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson at UFC Fight Night 60. Benson Henderson wasn't Thatch's original opponent. Obviously, he took the fight on short notice. I think it was 2 weeks after his fight with K-Boy Cerrone. Whose place did Benson Henderson take? So who pulled out the fight originally with Brandon Thatch?
Geez, I don't even know who that is. I don't watch enough MMA. I'm going to say that. Let me say. I'll say Donald Cerrone. I don't know.
So John Salter's going with the K-Boy. Joseph, what's your answer?
I'm going to go with Stephen Thompson.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson?
Yeah.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson it was.
Oh man, I got to watch more fights.
I gave you a hint there, John. I said Ben Sanderson obviously was fighting Cowboy just 2 weeks before, and then he took that short notice fight, so it couldn't have been the Cowboy.
I didn't hear that.
Oh.
I didn't hear that part. My phone's echoing. I don't know why.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay, Joseph? Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
It's always that way on the phone, John. We always have difficulties when people are on phones. It just sucks.
I tell you what, I'm gonna put earplugs in. It might make it stop echoing. But it's okay.
Well, we also have my UK accent. A lot of the Americans sort of struggle with my accent sometimes, especially on a phone. I sound worse on a phone. Okay, so that's a 2-point lead for you there, Joseph, which is very nice to have with just 2 questions left. I'm not sure if it's enough to get you a TKO victory at this point, but it can certainly possibly win you around those 2 points. So, much needed 2 points there. Okay, we're going to move on to question 4 next, and this is going to be worth 2 points. So this can pull your level, John, or this could give Joseph a 4-point lead, which really isn't needed going into question 5. Okay, Johnny, there, you got your earplugs in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, question 4, 2 points. Who recently said that they would like to fight CM Punk and Dana White at the same time? Now, I know it's obviously somebody with a gripe and an issue with Dana White. I think there's many out there who probably have got an issue with Dana White, but who are you choosing from?
Oh man, I think everybody wants to fight CM Punk.
That's true.
A
lot of people want to fight Dana White too.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm just going to go with this. He's not in the UFC, but it sounds like something he'd say. I'm just going to say Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz. That's a good one. That is a good one. I like that answer.
I'm gonna go with Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. That's another rival. I told you there's plenty to pick from. Well, Ben Askren, he did call out CM Punk. He did want to fight CM Punk. He made a lot of comments about CM Punk, but then he has actually been training with CM Punk recently. So that obviously makes it not him. So it isn't CM Punk. John Salter went with Tito Ortiz. We know Tito has a big history with Dana White, but it wasn't Tito Ortiz. It was indeed, are you ready for it, guys? Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
Ah, I forgot about Matt.
That's a surprising one, Matt Riddle, to be honest with you. I didn't think he was on too bad terms with the UFC, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, he did kind of, with the old John Jones thing he got it easy with the cocaine deal, and he gets cut for smoking pot, so.
But to be fair, John Jones only failed one test for cocaine. I think that was his third test he failed for marijuana, so I believe. I think when Nick Diaz failing a third one, maybe he can get upset about that one, to be honest with you. But he does draw more, so that can be the reason for it. Okay, the scores are 2-0 to Joseph Johnson, and the fifth and final question is only worth 1 point. So, Joseph, you have stole this round, and there isn't enough points to get a TKO, so regardless, this is just, we'll just call it a bit of an extra question here to play out the round. So, Joseph, you got round 1 in the books here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, question 5. This is worth 1 point. Which MMA fighter was recently arrested for allegedly fighting with the cops? We'll go with you first, John.
Fighting with the cops.
Yeah, fight with the police. Allegedly.
Well, I know this one was recently arrested, so I'm going to say him. Mayhem Miller.
Mayhem Miller. He comes up again in the quiz. So, John's going with Mayhem. What are you going with, Chelsea?
That's who I was going to say.
It was Mayhem. I touched on it before. He was constantly in the news, and well, recently in the news a lot. So, it was. So that makes the scores.
Crazy man.
3-1.
He is. He's very crazy.
Yeah.
Fighting with the cops, and apparently he attacked. Was it Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy's ex-wife? She said that he battered her. She put pictures of bruise up her arms, and now he's fighting with cops. That is absolutely crazy. So he lives up to his nickname, that's for sure. Mayhem.
Yeah.
Heck, I thought he hated bullies, but he is one.
I've been watching Bully Beatdown recently. It's pretty entertaining. I love the way he speaks to the bullies. He sort of mocks them and makes fun out of them and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, go on, man. I'm sure you can do it." But I'd love to get him on the quiz one day. That'll certainly be entertaining. So let's fill this in here. Round 1, winner Joseph Johnson, and the scores were 3-1. Congratulations there, Joseph.
Yeah.
You're not in the game yet, John. There's still 2 more rounds. Obviously, you can win these rounds, and you can obviously still TKO Joseph. So all to play for still there, John. But a nice advantage for you there, Joseph. And obviously, you keep quiz control now. You get to decide who goes first in round 2, and you get to decide the category. They're pretty much the same anyway, part 1 and part 2, so I don't think it really matters about selecting category now. So, Joseph, heading into round 2, what do you want to select? Part 1 or part 2?
I go with part 1.
Okay. Okay, so we're kicking off round 2 with the Fighters Only Annual World MMA Awards VII. Now, what I want to do for this, guys, I want you to just tell me who won the awards. That's pretty much straightforward as that. So, who won the awards? I'm just going to mention the category, and you just tell me who won that one. Okay, let's start question 1 for round 2. This is worth 2 points. I want you to tell me, for question 1, who won the Charles Mass Lewis Fighter of the Year award for 2 points in round 2. Joseph, who do you want to go first in round 2?
I'll let John go first.
Okay, John, maybe you should let me go first in the round one. It's become a typical theme in the quiz now where you sort of let your opponent pick first, so you can sort of copy the answer, and if you're a bit stuck or lost, that's become the theme. Obviously, you like taking chances. But John, you are going first, so I want you to tell me who was the Charles Mass Lewis Fighter of the Year for 2014.
The Fighter of the Year for 2014.
Yeah. If you're not sure, sort of think who's done really, really well. You're possibly going to be looking at the UFC as well, mainly. That's a tip to both you guys.
I'm going to say Fighter of the Year. I'm going to go with. Oh man, how am I letting his name slip my mind right now? Let's see. You know what? I'll just go with. I'll go with. Jeez. Oh my gosh, I can't think. I'm sorry. Give me like 10 seconds because I have to think of who.
That's fine, John. You take your time.
I can picture him right now. I just can't think of his name. Who's the guy that? You know, I'll go with Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks, I think, might be it.
Big Rig. Obviously, you're on a phone there, John. If you hear a pause on the line, it's obviously because I'm just writing down your answers.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the current UFC welterweight champion.
The
Robbie
Ruthless
Lawler.
one?
What?
The Ruthless one?
Yeah, the Ruthless one.
Robbie Lawler, who actually defeated Johnny Hendricks to take his
That's
title.
what I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, John.
That makes his name because Koscheck fought him. I just couldn't think of his name.
You're right. He did come back to the UFC and defeat Josh Koscheck.
Which reminds me, I got to ask you something, John. Do you think it was smart for Koscheck to accept the fight with Eric Silva?
You know, I don't know a whole lot about Eric Silva. I've heard his ground game's great. And I don't, since I'm not out there, I don't know the shape that Koscheck came out of that last fight in as far as like beat up. But, you know, I've heard that Eric Silva has problems with his cardio and Koscheck never gets tired. So that's going to be, you know, if he can take it into the later in the fight, I think it's going to be a good idea for him. It just matters whether or not he was banged up coming out of that last fight.
So basically do a Matt Brown on Eric Silva kind of deal there.
Yeah, I think because Koss will push the pace the whole time, and he won't get tired. So, you know, if he can get it out of the first round, I think it's a good fight for him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Eric Silva being sort of overhyped, overrated. He's been in the UFC for a couple of years now. I'm not too sure. There's still a big question mark over Eric Silva. You know, is he sort of like a gatekeeper? Is he going to be a contender? He's obviously moved past the prospect title, because you can only be a prospect for so long before you actually, you know, establish yourself as just a, you know, sort of main card, mid-tier sort of fighter, or whether you're going to get into the, you know, the mix for the title. So there's still a lot of question marks now with Silva. It's sort of up and down at the minute. What do you think there, John? Do you think he's going to make it into the title contention, Eric Silva? Possibly.
You know, if he wins this fight, that's going to be a good step up for him. But I think he's going to have to work on his you know, stand up so he can set his takedowns up a little better than the one time I've seen him fight.
Well, the MMA fan in me, you know, I really want Josh Koscheck to win. It's his last fight in his contract, so I believe. I don't think it's going to be extended. I don't think he's interested in fighting much longer. So I would like to see him go out on a win. That's the fan in me. What about you, Joseph? Would you like to see Koscheck go out on a win?
Yeah, I always want to see a guy on their last contract to go out with a win, no matter what.
It's a shame.
It kind of hurts to go out on a loss like a lot of fighters did, like Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, that was tough. It's very strange because he was doing really well. He got that split decision win over Mike Pierce. He was on a bit of a roll before that. Really, his only loss coming to GSP before the loss to Robbie Lawler, and after the Robbie Lawler loss, things just went severely downhill for him, which was a shame. Well, anyway,
he went into that fight with Lawler with real messed up ribs, and then took a shot to the ribs in the fight. So I think that that hurt him in that fight big time, going in hurt.
It's really strange because a lot of fighters they do win hurt like over the top, ridiculous. When you hear some of the injuries, what they went to a fight with, it's like, why do you do that as a fighter? Could you explain that for us, John?
I think the thing is, you feel like you put in all this work, and then when you get hurt late like that in the training camp, it's just one of those things. Like, I put in too much work to pull out. And I'll say, another perfect example, one of my best friends, Josh Sampa, who's a 125er in the UFC. His last fight in the UFC, he partially tore his ACL the week of the fight. But, after all that work, he's not going to pull out of the fight. Because you put in 8 weeks of your life as hard as you can go, you don't want to pull out.
Well, it's very sad to hear because you look at Robbie Lawler now and then you look at Koscheck, that fight really just set him on two different paths. It's really crazy. Just that one fight can change your career in such a dramatic fashion. It's really, really insane just to see that. And it's only been that was about a year ago, do you think, John? Just over a year ago that fight happened. That's really crazy.
And in my opinion, when he fought Hendricks, he was mad because, Hendricks beat his old training partner, John Fitch. So he wanted to get revenge.
Well, anyway, back to the quiz, guys. Just to clarify, the correct answer was Ruthless Robbie Lawler, so that gives Joseph a 2-point lead at the start of round 2, so a good start there, Joseph. Okay, this gets a little serious for you in there, John, because you're a round down, you're 2 points down at the start of round 2, you really need to get some questions correct here. So moving on to question 2, this is worth 1 point. This could certainly put you a little bit back into the game here. Who won Female Fighter of the Year for 2014? John, you're going first.
I gotta say, it's got to be Ronda Rousey.
Joseph?
That's who I was going to go with.
Not Kat Zingano, Sarah McCann?
Nah.
No? Ronda Rousey it was, guys.
Well, Kat only had one fight last year, so, I mean...
That's very true. I was just throwing any names out there.
Well, if you watch the UFC, you don't know there's another woman fighter in the world.
Pretty much. If it wasn't for Ronda, they wouldn't be in the UFC, which is sad because women can actually fight pretty well. Yeah. So
that still blows my mind to this day because I don't get it. I just don't understand it. It doesn't seem correct in my brain how one woman can make or break a division. It just there's been women around for years, Bulldog, etc., have been put on women, and I just don't know how they've never made it to the mainstream level, and one woman made it. And I would have thought Gina Carano would have done it over anybody before that. I don't know why the UFC never gave it a go when Carano was knocking around.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching Gina Carano fight. I don't really care to watch Rousey. I don't know why.
My favorite fight of hers was the Sarah Kaufman fight.
Especially off Rose's record. When she took the belt, I believe she only had a record of 3-0 or something, a pro record. That's probably just enough to get you on the Ultimate Fighter nowadays.
Yeah.
I know she's decorated in judo, etc., but still, it's I don't know. It's like I say, it's a strange old boy. I'm not behind the scenes. I'm not a businessman, but I just thought if it was going to happen, it could have still happened without Rosie. And she does get credit, deserve credit, but I don't know. Something about it just still doesn't seem right to me. So the scores here, guys, are 3-1 after a nice easy question there. Question 3 is worth a big 3 points. So John, you can actually take the lead if you get this one correct, and Joseph gets it wrong. So a nice big 3 points here. But with a big 3 points comes an hard question. Obviously, the easier question is worth 1 point, 2 points medium, 3 points on an hard question. So if you can get this hard question right, John, you can actually take the lead in round 2. Joseph, if you get this one correct, you've got a 2-point lead already. So that can actually get you a TKO victory over John, and you can finish the game right now. So all to play for. Very important question here for question 3. So just to understand here, guys, John, you can take the lead and come from behind. Joseph, you can finish John off here if you get this one correct. Okay?
All right.
Right, question 3. I want you to tell me, guys, who was the Breakthrough Fighter of the Year for 2014? So the Breakthrough Fighter. If you don't know this one, sort of have a guess. Who really, sort of like a younger fighter, who really rose through the ranks, or maybe a new signee just broke onto the scene and did really good in 2014.
All right, who really the breakthrough fighter of the year? Man, give me just a second to try and think about somebody that's.
There's quite a few, to be honest with you.
Trying to think of somebody that just went on a tear and crushed some people. I can't really think of anybody to hype it up a ton.
The year before, I believe, was. Sorry, John.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
The year before, the winner of the year before, I think, was Travis Brown. He won that big tear in 2013. So something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody just come out of the blue and just really tore the house down.
Jeez, somebody that came out of the blue.
I can give a hint if both you guys agree. Would you like a hint?
I don't need a hint.
You don't need a hint? Well, I can't give the hint name because both have to agree.
Oh man, he's gonna get this. All right, if I ask you, cause for the life of me, like I said, I don't watch much MMA now, so I'm really bad with the
give
names.
him the hint.
Well, can I ask you who? I could be completely off here, but what was the name of the guy that just beat up Pettis? I can't think of his name.
Rafael dos Anjos.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I feel like a year ago, nobody was really talking about him too much.
He's been on a very good run. I believe he's 9-1 in his last 10 fights.
Yeah, the only guy that beat him was the Eagle.
I know who it is. It has to be this. Who's the? All right, if I tell you the fighter, you can tell me his name, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that.
Irish hand grenade guy, or not Irish hand grenade, the Irish guy that's just.
Conor McGregor.
Everybody's off. Conor McGregor. I'm going to go with Conor McGregor.
You agree,
if I'm
Conor?
wrong on that, I deserve to lose.
Okay, Joseph, you got a choice of playing it safe or taking a chance to finish John Salter off.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to do it. It's Kevin Gastelum, the guy who recently fought Tyron Woodley and lost by decision.
It wasn't Kevin Gastelum, it was Kelvin Gastelum, but I'll still give it to you, Joseph.
My bad.
Oh, man.
Do you know what?
Well, one letter off.
We'll give it to you still, Joseph. We'll still give it to you. And to be honest with you, if I didn't know the answer to that and I was playing the game or I was just watching the video, I'll be like, Conor McGregor is definitely, that's the correct answer from Kelvin Gastelum. But Kelvin's been on a tear, certainly a worthy winner.
Not a break. He was the international fighter of the year, so.
Well, I gave it my best. I gotta watch more MMA before I do another quiz.
Well, John, your debut on the quiz, you gained a point in the first round. Not a very high scoring first round. There was 5 questions in there too. Obviously, there must have been a few tough questions in there, but round 2, Joseph put it on you, and he finished with a 6-1 score, which equaled a TKO in round 2.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
John, anything you want to say on your performance?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Anything you want to say on your performance today? You picked up 2 points.
I'm a little disappointed with myself. I feel like I just got hammered, so gonna have to get back in the practice room and do some studying.
Well, John, let's move on to your career-wise. Obviously, you just signed with Bellator. You got your first victory under that banner. Very good win, actually. Dustin Jacobus, I believe. Anything in the pipeline for Bellator this year?
No, not right now. I'm staying in shape right now. I'm doing cardio every day and training all day. So I'm hoping that something pops up soon. You never wish for anybody to get hurt, but if somebody does get hurt, I hope they give me a call and get me in there.
Awesome. Well, John, thank you very much for the time today, and our apologies for the delay too.
No problem, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good time.
Cheers. Speak to you soon, John. Okay, Joseph,
Yes, I'm still here.
you are now 2-1 on the MMA Crypt quiz.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
I'm not sure if you're ready for Greg yet. I don't know if you got yourself back in contention
No,
to
no,
face Greg.
I need a few more quiz time for that.
Yeah, I think so,
I kind of got hammered by Greg.
to be honest, I think if you played Greg today, I think he would have polished you off because round one, 3-1 off 5 questions, a little lackluster. Round two, though, you did really good round two. I'd give you that, Joseph. I was very impressed. 6-1, and we only got to question. We only got to question 3. 6-1. You got all 3 correct. Very impressive. You gave him no chance in round two. So
Well,
round two, I'm not too sure.
I had to give him some kind of challenge, give him a break. He was the guy who set the way for Alabama to go to the UFC. So,
Oh, I didn't talk about your rivalry, did I? Oh, I was supposed to have brought up your rivalry. Damn. It's because it was so rushed. It was so rushed. We started the show a little late today, and things were a little bit rushed. So,
yeah,
quite frustrating.
I kind of can explain it.
Explain it. You got a victory today over John Salter. You got your record in the plus now on the MMA Crypt quiz, and a nice victory on the rival. So, explain the rival to the viewers.
See, we went to 2 different high schools in the same county, and our sports, or actually our high school anyways, is very competitive with each other because we still are the 2 best schools in our division in the county. So they beat us in football every year except for 2 years ago when we finally beat them after a 5-year drought. So I kind of had to keep it up and keep it going. It's a big time rivalry. Basically, like, what's a big rivalry for y'all in soccer?
Well, I come from Manchester. I'd say definitely Manchester City versus Manchester United in the soccer.
Yeah, it's basically like that. We don't hate each other, but we do hate each other at the same time. If that makes sense.
Well, we get a lot of crowd violence. Do you get a lot of crowd violence?
Yeah, in football games, yes, we do. Heck, some one year when I was playing football, we had actually a fight on the field with players versus players. So,
So, Joseph, going back to the quiz, just how did you do so well in round two? Because, like I said, round one was a bit of a slow start. Obviously, I had a rush start. You guys had a bit of a slow start in round one. Round two, you really put it to him. Like, you really knew what you was talking about when it comes to these MMA awards. So, did you watch the awards? Did you check up on the awards?
like I explained when I was going against Greg, if he
Yeah.
picked the MMA awards, I would have lost badly. So I kind of threw that out there that was my weak point.
You
So
did
I
some
kind of studied
research.
up on it.
You told me you was doing research. That's my bad. Well, no, it's sure good. It's sure good. It's not my bad. The categories are randomly selected. I selected those 3. I didn't even know what you've been researching on, so it's not like I knew or whatever. Obviously, research pays off there, Joseph.
I thought you were going to do UFC 185 actually, but it's good.
No, that's actually in the works. I'm actually one question away from finalising that, so that will be finished shortly.
Heck, that should be mine and Greg's quiz because I actually know everything about that one. But nah, I'm going to give that to somebody else. Somebody else could take on Greg real quick right now. I'm going to keep on studying, working my way up to him.
Well, to wrap up the quiz shows, if you want to say to John Salter or just anything at all.
Well, yeah, I appreciate him coming on the show and taking time off his busy schedule because he is a world class pro fighter in Bellator, so he's kind of busy and he gave his time to come on to do the show with me. So
Yeah, he's very okay. We had a 30-minute delay. He's okay with that. Come on, he was sound. Obviously, 1 point each round. I don't know what to say to that. He's a nice guy. I don't want to. I don't want to say anything negative about 2 points. I don't. It is what it is. And then again, I do put some tough questions in there. Like if I was playing, I'd be like, probably get no questions right. you know,
yeah, like I forgot that mayhem because I haven't, like, besides the whole deal here lately that he got thrown back in jail. I knew he got thrown in jail, but I didn't know the reason why. So I
If
didn't think he was actually stupid enough to fight cops. But hey, I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, he probably just kicked out on them and they probably beat on him and then accused him of beating them up. That's the way it works sometimes.
Most likely, that's the way it works. I don't know about over there, but over here, that's definitely how it works.
See, I'm just looking here, Joseph, because if I was playing, I think round one I would have done the best. Round two I would have done absolutely crap. There's no way I would have even got a point in round two. So props to uh, props to him to even getting a point in round two, and props to you for getting 6 points because that's just yeah.
Well, yeah, I kind of had to make a statement after that butt whooping Greg put on me. So he
Well,
TKO'd me in the second round. So, or was it the first? I can't even remember. First, right? Yeah, it was the first.
so round one was the lowest score round. So I want to go through this second. Round one, question one was who was recently stabbed, which former UFC middleweight fighter. John said Nate Quarry. You went with Nate Quarry too. Just I don't think neither of you guys had a clue on that one. I would have actually gone Mayhem, but I actually saw that one, so I would have got that one correct, definitely. Also, the Page Van Zant thing, you both got that one correct. Did you copy John on that one?
Yeah, I copied John on that one because I had no idea
Well,
who
he
it
get
was.
that's the thing about being a veteran on the quiz now, Joseph, because you get to learn when to go first, when to go second, how to play it, when to take your chances. So you're really getting seasoned on the MMA Crypt quiz now. That was just I'd say that's just been a newbie mistake by John there personally to give you quiz control there. Question three was whose place did Benson Henson take at UFC Fight Night 60? Obviously, you got that one correct. So that was pretty easy, that one, Stephen. But if you've not been keeping track of the fights recently, obviously there's so many fight nights now. That one's easy to get wrong. So you can sort of get definitely that one getting wrong. I would have got that one personally.
I'm a big fan of Stephen Thompson, so I like his striking.
You know, the Matt Middle with the CM Punk question 4, saying he'll fight CM Punk. Do you know what? If you're not on the forums every day and you're not keeping up on the news, that so easily can fly under your radar because there's so many people who don't like Dana White. I like John's answer, Tito Ortiz. I really did. I like Tito Ortiz. Thought it was a good answer. Yours with Ben Askren was another good answer. 2 good answers there.
I forgot that he was with Roof Sport now, and I couldn't.
What he didn't like, and that's the thing, you actually would have got. It was sort of correct because he was criticising CM Punk and he hasn't liked Dana White, so that was a really good answer. That was probably better than Tito Ortiz, to be honest with you. Quite unlucky with that. Definitely see why you got that one. Then obviously he's been fighting cops recently. I think that's been plastered everywhere, Mayhem with the cops. So, yeah, I would have done really good in round one. If I was playing, I would have done good in round one. Round two has been trite. But I certainly get John's answers if you're not keeping up on the news. Joseph, you're obviously knocking around the website, so that certainly pays off. And obviously you're scouting on the Annual MMA Awards, won you the game today. So 2-1 on the MMA Crypt quiz now. Congratulations. And you will be getting a certificate coming your way. Have you received your certificate yet, Joseph? The one what I sent to you previously?
Yeah, I got it. It took 2 weeks, but
2 weeks.
the mail over here. Let's just put it this way: they say they lose it, but they keep it in their big facilities. So they actually got in trouble with the mail over here doing that.
Well, you got another one coming your way now, Joseph.
Now I got another one I can put up there on my wall right next to my first one.
You put them on your wall. Well, we'll see if we can get a champion one coming your way soon. Well, what do you want next? Do you want to take on another fighter? Would you like to take on a fan? What do you want next? We'll see what we can arrange for you, Joseph.
There's a guy that fought, that played Greg before I did.
Ryan Hawkins, you want?
And he kind of accepted the fight and didn't do it, or accepted the challenge, and I accepted it, and he didn't do it. So technically, that's backing out. So I'm calling him out to come and face me on the quiz show.
Well, you got a 2-1 record on the quiz. He's got an 0-1 record on the quiz. So yeah, trying to make him 0-2 and really put him down. I'll contact him later on today, and we'll see what we can get sorted out. See if we can put that one together. I like that one.
Hopefully
2
he
and 1
don't,
versus on 1.
hopefully he don't say some weird answers like he did the first time.
Well, yeah, that reminds me. If I can recall correctly, Greg finished him off in round 1. He actually
Yeah.
didn't
He
get.
didn't even answer the question.
Yeah, he didn't get one correct, so, from what I recall. That was probably the worst performance on the quiz so far. So yeah, let's get Ryan back on and see if he can redeem himself, because nobody wants to. I don't want to see anybody get all the questions wrong. I felt quite bad for John coming on today, just getting 2 points, but I sort of get his answers. We went through it there. But I always feel bad when somebody gets low scores. I don't like it. I feel like I'm putting too many hard questions in there. I'm too
Well, I
nice.
mean, the thing is, fighters, you can understand if they're like, in big promotions
Yeah, yeah.
like Bama, Cage Warriors, all them, because they really don't have time to sit around and watch fights.
Well, I'll tell you the truth now, Joseph. We did a fan versus fighter quiz, and the fans won. It is known that obviously fans they spend more time reading the news, they spend more time on the forums. If you're going to pick fan versus fighter, fans are going to win all the time. Not every time, but if you want to take a majority, if you put 50 versus 50, I guarantee the fans will win about 40 of them in a quiz.
Unless you go against Salmon, who apparently
Yeah.
has time to do that too. I
Well,
don't
that
know
one.
how he has time to check it out, but
Well, I believe he worked for a MMA website beforehand, or was some type of journalist. I'm sure he was. He's a big fan anyway. But that isn't on your record, Joseph. Technically, that one aired, you would be 2 and 2 now. But that didn't air, so you are actually 2 and 1. So I've not put it on your record.
well, I appreciate that, even though I count it myself, but I appreciate that.
Well, we can't count it. We can't count it. You got a positive record at the minute. So there's nothing to appreciate. It is what it is. Okay, I think that's a wrap for today's quiz. I hope you all enjoyed today's quiz, and as always, guys, thank you for watching.